Hi guys, and welcome back to Pass and Move. And for today's episode in our Persistent Parma series, we've got a game for you here as planned against Pisa. Now I think that's how you say the name, but either way, the plan is to beat them as we are at home and tumbling down the table as you can see here. Parma sitting in 7th after 29 games played with just, I think, 9 games remaining. So not pleasant whatsoever. There is a little bit of good news here. Obviously, besides us still remaining in the promotional spots, which was always the plan. The expectation from the board, but the expectation from the media was that we should be where Bassano are here. They look like the team most likely to get that automatic promotional spot, as well as the title, of course, with only one team managing to do that. But yeah, I mean, it's been really disappointing. So now there's a gap of 12 points between us and Bassano, and really the quality-wise is not that big of a difference. We seem to be underperforming. Morale taking a real, big hit. I can't seem to keep the team's morale up for a while. They always seem to be good and then bad the next game, and then good and then bad the next game, and that really puts in inconsistent performances. As you can tell, 13 wins, 10 losses tells its own story. But yeah, we are still 4 points ahead of the, dropping out of the promotional spots. So I guess we're doing okay. But yeah, we should definitely be more concerned about remaining in the promotional spots rather than fighting for the title. Just a few games to update you on. As always, it's just the normal 7-game period. So since that Modena game there, as you can tell, not a single win in the Series C games. And as you can tell, that's really poor, of course. Most of them are draws, but there are 3 losses here. Actually 2 to be fair, because one of them is in the Series C Cup. But yeah, the little shining light of the season so far that I was telling you about is that we have managed to get into the final of the Series C Cup, which will be played over 2 legs. Obviously, the thing about the Italian Serie C Cup is that the board don't care about it. It's considered not important. So even though we're all the way in the final, I don't think we actually make any actual money out of the thing. Obviously, there's probably gate receipts and things like that, but nothing serious as you would expect if you were in the FA Cup, for example. But yeah, to be in a final and possibly win a trophy is never a bad thing. So that's good so far. But in terms of performances, obviously 100% without a doubt in the second half of the season after these friendlies, just absolutely poor. Since the second half of the season, we haven't won once whatsoever. And that's really concerning considering how we were performing before in the first half of the season. But yeah, I mean, all we could do now is really just do our best. So we'll just quickly go through these games just so you can see what's been going on. Against Ascoli, we were away, so a draw is not too bad. They've been performing quite well up until that period. I don't know where they are right now, to be honest. Yeah, they're just under us. I mean, I guess a draw is fair. Against Bassano, I was disappointed to lose to them 2-1 in the Series C league. It was pretty much... Well, I mean, it was so disappointing just because of what I thought would be the equalizer through Emmanuel Callio here in a penalty, but Bassano responded immediately and Grandolfo scored their winner in the 90th minute, and that was a huge blow, and I think players have really struggled to respond since, and that pretty much happened with 2 consecutive draws against Lumezzane and Mantova in the Serie C. Obviously, we beat Mantova over 2 legs here in the Serie C Cup. We played them plenty so far this season, but we managed to get a little bit of a revenge, I guess you could say, by knocking them out after they beat us at home. We also beat them at home by more than they did. But yeah, against Flaminia, they're relegation battlers, so this is a horrible result, but at the same time, since they're battling relegation, you can expect them to really come out fighting. But the fact that we never got a single shot on target is pretty poor. But yeah, that's what morale can do to teams. So poor morale, poor performances, and that followed through here in the home game against Gubbio. I hope I'm saying that right. But anyways, yeah, just a 0-0 draw. We can't seem to score, and we can't seem to keep a clean sheet either. Obviously here we have, but in the previous games, as you saw, we also conceded. But yeah, Gubbio pretty much creating the only clear-cut chance of the game, and thankfully they didn't capitalize on that. But as you can tell from just most of the stats in the recent games, they're pretty much just dominating performances, our opponents. And if you compare that to, let's say, for example, here where we beat Bassano 2-1, I think they actually dominated this one too. But at least you could tell we were creating clear-cut chances and such. As you can see here, you know, Bassano had plenty of shots, but you know, you have to sort of put that in perspective, considering they only got 9 on target. So we had 8 and we got 6 on target, so we're just more clinical here. And we had 1 clear-cut chance, and we managed to score 2 goals. So you know, the stats aren't everything, but at least here, you know, it nudged a little bit in our favor as comparison to how it's been so far in these last few games. But yeah, you know, after Pisa is a really tough run of form. Actually, rather after Foglia, I think it's going to be Padova, Pordenone, Teramo, Venezia, and I think after that's a little bit easier. But this little run of games here is really going to define our season, because all of these teams are in the top half of the promotional spots and we need to perform. But yeah, let's just get into today's game. Actually, sorry, just before we do that, I'm not sure if I've already mentioned this in the last episode, but just in case, in terms of transfers, we've just done something in the very last game of the January window. I don't think you guys got to see that. Yeah, we played against Modern, and that was mid-Jan. So literally in the very last day of the season, I don't know why I keep saying season, last day of the January transfer window, Sampdoria, who are in the Serie B now, came in for a bid for one of our youngsters in Leonardo Franzoi. He's definitely going to be a star. I had no doubts about it when we had him. And you know, he was only suited to Serie D football, so well, apparently according to my scout, actually he was playing for us in the first team, and he was ready for Serie C. So I think my scouts are possibly wrong there. But anyways, it was strange to see a team straight away bid for him, because he was only 17, and I really didn't want to let him go. But unfortunately, him and his agent were obviously putting, you know, serious threats down, basically, about wanting to leave to Sampdoria, and you can't really blame them. But I tried to get the most out of it, and I got 155k, which I immediately spent on Genoa's Riccardo Improta, who we bought for 90k. So that's really a bit of a bargain. He was on the transfer list, so that helped us, and he's a good player for Serie B sides in comparison to the player who we sold, who was only good enough for Serie C, and was only early Serie C as well, like a decent sort of Serie C player. So huge improvement in the right wing. Hopefully Improta can start upping his performances, because since we bought him, just sort of poor average sort of performances so far. But he's only played 4 times, getting used to the team, and obviously playing as a right winger. So it'll take some adjusting to do. But yeah, I think we do have a quality player on hand. We are paying him huge amounts, and hopefully we won't regret that. If anything, we can always sell him. He is worth 350k, so wouldn't be you know, a poor investment by buying him for 92k and selling him for 350 if it doesn't work out. But yeah, that happened in the last game of the season. Last day of the January transfer window, and now we're in the 11th of March, and we've got a game here against Pisa, and that's what we need to focus on here at home. And you know, same old tactics, same old Parma, and hopefully we'll see a new performance rather than the same old performances. That would be pretty disappointing. But yeah, Pisa are, I think, as well, relegation battlers. As you can see here, they're 3 points away from possibly being relegated. I think this is relegation playoff spots, actually, and the only one that's actual automatic promotion, automatic relegation, is this last one here in the 20th position. So I think they definitely will be putting in a tough game. But yeah, expectations are obviously in our favour, and the odds expert thinks so as well. They're playing with a 4-2-3-1. We're sticking with our 4-4-2 with Marconi, Evacchio, Improta, Vico, Scavone, Giorgino, Ricci, Collis, Crosta, and Gruffo making up our first 11. Zoma's, of course, in goal. And that's pretty much a standard first 11, I think. So we should be able to play our game, really, and hopefully we'll see some improvement in morale here. We're going to have to try and tell them to cut out the poor performances, and that's exactly what I'm going to tell them here. I fully expect you to get the win and cut out the bad results, and hopefully tell my players about our expectations from beginning of the game will help them to perform. We are at home. I am allowed to be a bit demanding, but yeah. we need to see that on the pitch, of course. I feel like I say that every single episode. You guys always manage to get the games where nothing really interesting happens. I'm hoping today we'll see a ton of goals, and even though I hope my team will win, I'm just hoping to see a great game overall. And Proto goes past his man immediately, puts a really good ball into the box, but goalkeeper deals with it well, and that will be the end of the highlight, and we're gonna get to see the clock tick down until the next highlight. But yeah, definitely we need to see some improvement in performances. We need our first win of the second half of the season, and that's exactly not how you get it. Giorgino does, however, win the ball back, and Scavoni loses it again, so same old tendencies of my Parma players losing the ball whenever they get into the opposition half, and that's, guess we have poor dribblers, you could say, possibly. But anyways, Pisa taking the time to get the ball into the box here. They're holding on to possession and trying to break through to us, and it is a long range shot, so they didn't really exactly do that, but Zommers does well to just get down and save that, and hopefully the next highlight will go in our favor instead. Obviously if we get into half time and we feel we need to be a bit more attacking, we can switch mentalities and as well as tactics, but yeah, it is Pisa who are going to have a bit of set piece here, and it looks like they're going to score, but thankfully that hits the crossbar and we survive somehow. Pisa having double our shots, 2 of them on target, and it looks like we really haven't gotten into the game just yet, which is really poor. It's almost as if the team don't care anymore as soon as, you know, they lost out on getting into the title position, I guess. But either way, Pisa on the attack again here, and as always, looking dangerous. Not a single highlight going our way. Boys, can we win the ball back, please, and do something here? Instead, Pisa just passing it around, making us run around like idiots, and they were through on goal. I think that was a clear-cut chance, their first clear-cut chance of the game, and thankfully that doesn't amount to anything, and that's pretty poor on their behalf too. Hopefully we can just survive until half-time so I can tell my players off, switch to more attacking mode, and see whether that turns this game within our favour. With just 1 minute left to half-time, possibly injury time too, we just need to hold on here for a little bit longer. There you go, just 1 minute, and there you go, that's half-time. As the commentator says, things can only get better here, and we'll immediately try to get them better here. We're going to switch to an attacking 4-4-2 and attacking mentality. Now, Persistent says we have to encourage the team, and I agree, of course we definitely have to encourage them, but what should we say to encourage them? Let's be passionate. There you go. Alright, that seems to have done the trick a little bit. Morale hasn't really increased, but they do seem to be motivated, and it is Pisa who kick off the game, or kick off the second half rather of the game, and hopefully this kicks off our game. We haven't had a single shot on target. They are getting a set piece though, and they score immediately through it. You can tell that's going to go in whenever they show a highlight with a set piece there. And Zommer's just really poor, I think. It's kind of unusual considering how he's been incredible so far, not just in this game but all season, and God knows what he's doing there. Manini scores possibly the goal of his career. We're going to have to make some substitutions here as it is the 60th minute. Garufo's the only one who's actually had a terrible game. Everyone else is pretty much quiet, but no one's seriously tired. We'll just keep that change for now and see whether that helps us. I'm just trying to switch tactics as well. We're going to go into a 4-2-4, push the wingers up, and hopefully that should give us some more shots. At least our first shot on target is just incredible. I'm really tempted to switch up tactics here, see whether that would help us, but it's halfway through the season. We need a completely different set of players, and you know, it's tough to do. It's not even like we're in the middle of a January transfer window, for example, so that we could do that. We have a number of players tired here, but Ivacchio is the only one who's actually a attacking player, so we're going to take him off for Callio and see whether Callio can do anything off the bench. Strikers have been in poor form so far as well in the second half of the season, and I'm starting to think the friendlies that I pick in December does my team more harm than good. I thought it was good to bring in some extra finances, but last season as well as this season have proven that second half or mid-season friendlies are not a good idea. I'm going to have a look at other clubs' schedules and see whether they plan some friendlies as well, just to see if it's just me or not. But anyways, a good ball into the box from Improta. Let's Marconi score our equaliser, and hopefully we can go on and get our second late winner. But yeah, this is exactly what we brought Improta in for to do. He beats his man, puts a good ball into the box, and Marconi is there when it counts. I'm not sure who this is. Callio, for some reason, didn't go for the shot that was... he wasn't in the right position, but I guess that's what you expect from a target man, and it's more of an advanced forward who does that sort of thing. There is an increase in shots on target, so the 4-2-4 seems to have worked, and maybe we'll get another chance here. Vico puts a really good ball into Improta, who nods it down for Adorni, but unfortunately he couldn't capitalize on that, and it looks like we have 10 minutes left here. Another set piece that doesn't seem to amount to anything. We are putting up the pressure here though, and Pisa are starting to feel it, and they are starting to crack. Or break down rather, and maybe we can save the game here, save ourselves the 3 points. We're going to go into overload and just switch everyone into attacking duties, see what that does for us. Hopefully they don't catch us on the break. But yeah, just look at the statistical changes here. Parma just incredibly turning the game around in terms of our shots and shots on target. Maybe we can score. Come on, boys, we need to score a winner here. We can't just settle for 1 point at home against Pisa. But yeah, as the clock ticks down, it just seems really unlikely. 30 seconds left to the game, and it's Pisa with the ball, and they seem to just have to not really want to create anything serious. But here's... Alright, that was one hell of a through ball, but thankfully that was offside, and it looks like that will end the game there. And it looks like our winless run will continue, unfortunately for us, and fortunately for our promotional rivals. As you can see, not really any great performances out of this squad. Skrosta are having a fine game, as well as Improta, who is the man of the match, or man of the team, really, not of the match. I think they would have someone else for that. But yeah, my assistant's telling me that I think we should tell him it's been disappointing. I kind of agree, but with morale so poor, not sure saying that was the best thing to do. But yeah, it drops us down to 8th place, and we're still 4 points away, I think. Gubbio not managing to pick up any points either. So that seems to have worked out in our favor, but just the gap keeps growing. I mean, look at that, 14 points away from a team who weren't even top when we were top. It was between us and Teramo, and even Teramo has been struggling. I mean, 7 points away from top themselves, and it just looks like Bassano are gonna... They just look most likely to win. I don't think Venetia are actually gonna turn it around anytime soon. Bassano have just been relentless, just killing off teams one after the other, and we've been the complete opposite in the second half of the season. But yeah, I mean, we have plenty of chances here to turn this around. I think the higher up we are in the promotional spots, the more easier maybe the games would be. The playoff games is in. But yeah, all we can do is hope for the best. We will be back within 7 games time, which seems to be the last game of the season possibly. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah, probably makes sense to show you the last game of the season. We might do a double header, because this is a final. And I like showing you guys, if we ever get into cup finals, I like showing you the final. So, not sure whether to show you both legs, even though there's a bit of a gap here. I think I'm more likely to show you either the first or the second leg, and then just show you the last game of the season for the next 2 episodes. And let's see where that takes us. If we reach the last game of the season, we are in the playoff spots. I think it would make more sense to show you guys if we reach the final of the playoff spot. If not, then we'll definitely meet each other in the next season, if obviously Parma still keep me on. There's a huge financial issue here. Our financial status is insecure, and being 2 million in debt pretty much tells its own story. A lot of it is down to, according to the breakdown here, player wages and staff wages. But yeah, even match day expenses are heavy. There's loan repayments as well, that doesn't help. I don't know why it's not showing here, but it is showing here for some reason, as well as tax, bonuses, travel costs. Well, either way, point is, if we don't get promoted this season, it really seems that Parma might actually have to get relegated for financial trouble again. They'll probably have to cease to exist as a club. But yeah, I think if we don't get promoted this season, then I think we won't carry on this series anymore. We'll probably move on to another team. 2 seasons in a row not getting promotional spots when we were expected to is pretty poor on my behalf. So you know, we should move on from that and see whether we can perform with another team. As you can see, the season preview still says that they expect us to be first, and that's very unlikely now. But anyways, if you enjoyed the video, then please do hit the like button and subscribe for more daily Football Manager content. And as always, thank you guys for watching.